Did you play on Disney Channel? Nickelodeon. Oh, Nickelodeon. What show is it again? Oh yeah, you were that kid on it, huh? Yeah. I remember you. Yeah.
Hey, Shalom, Shalom, brothers. This is Brother Howard of GMS Toronto coming back with another one. I want to start off this lesson by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah Kudash. And what you just saw was a glimpse into reality, right? Meaning that what you're seeing now, what's saved on the screen, this was the fantasy, okay? This this young man, well, he's not a young man anymore, age 36. He's a grown-ass man now, but he used to be a part of that Nickelodeon child prodigy star world, right? Let's rewind. Now, this is the reality, okay? How do we know this is the reality? Because in the system, just like in the Matrix, when Neo saw the black cat, he said, "Oh, deja vu." That's when Morpheus said, "Deja vu." Nah, you're not supposed to see stuff like that. So then they knew. I forgot, like the guys, the agents were coming or something like that. But sometimes there's like a glitch, right? And this is a glitch or a reveal, right? You had reveals with Mariah Carey when she lost it, right? You had a glitch with Britney Spears. You had a glitch with Michael Jackson. You had a glitch with Whitney Houston, and so on and so forth. There's glitches in the Matrix all the time for people to see what's going on. But the construct, quote unquote, reality of this world is too dominant for the minds of people, right? The majority of people in the world, they're too busy with their mundane lives. And don't get it twisted. Life is supposed to be cyclical, right? Life is supposed to be mundane. Life is supposed to be boring in a sense where you get up and you do the same thing every day. It's known as routine or it's known as responsibility, right? So life is supposed to be cyclical. But what we have in this world is ran off of what? This world is ran off of fear, right? Meaning that everyone is afraid to speak truth because this world is full of lies, right? So you just have people that keep their head down. And even though they might see a glimpse in the Matrix, which is either child sacrifice, which you have through Disney, you have through Nickelodeon, you have through YTV, or whatever other form of occult witchcraft programming you went through, right? Disney is just one programming which went global. Even me, as a man, as a prophet speaking to you now, as a child, I went through the Disney programming, not officially like a Britney Spears, like a Justin Timberlake. No, we went through it unofficially, unknowingly, uninitiated. Those people are just actually initiated. They actually went to the school. This guy, he is Harry Potter, believe it or not. Okay, Whitney Houston, she's Hermione, believe it or not. They go through their rituals or their teachings of how to enhance their spiritual power, so to speak, in this world on the left-hand side. They're practicing witchcraft on the highest level known to mankind through their particular schooling, whether that's Disney, Nickelodeon, or whatever path you went through. Some of you are Masons, okay? You went through that way of ritualistic understanding or enlightenment through the way of Masonry. Okay, some people did it through something known as Hermeticism. Some of you did it in the way of Kabbalah. Okay, but these different rituals or programming, right? Because you have the ultimate, which you have in that TV show Stranger Things, which I've been mentioning a lot. You have MK Ultra, which goes back to monarch programming, which the majority of the stars or the people that we see on TV, they are under monarch programming, right? Or Project Bluebird, right? Which really and truly, all of this, the reason why I'm even mentioning all of this, because all of this goes back to Greek, Babylonian, and Celtic pagan festivals, right? Especially Samhain, right? And if you know anything about Samhain, then you know Samhain is what? In our time, is Halloween, right? Where the veil of the world is the thinnest, meaning that you're able to conjure spirits, you're able to see the real world. When we say the real world, what do we mean? The evils. But it's not evil in a sense to the people that are practicing it. They're looking at it in a sense of empowerment, right? They're able to face their demons, or they're able to face reality, which is the ugly truth, the dark truth. You people, you uninitiated, right? You profane, because that's how they look at the world, right? They look at us like goyim, right? The people who were initiated to certain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of animal sacrifice, human sacrifice, child sacrifice, blood drinking, so on as sexual rituals. These people look at you like you're uninitiated, but they're initiated or enlightened to certain truths, like they might have to sleep with a goat. They might have to sleep with a child. You might have to go to Epstein Island. That to you as the uninitiated is dark, which it is. It's completely dark. It's unrighteous. But to them, that's their power, right? That's how they gain more enlightenment. Okay? That's why in the TV show Stranger Things, the little girl, 11, which if you know anything about numerology, right? Especially esoteric numerology or occult numerology. You could just type in occult numerology, right? Or the Kabbalah or Freemasonry, because in Freemasonry, the 11 just represents two pillars. You have a pillar of Boaz and a pillar of something else. That's something brothers could look up. But one goes into mercy and one goes into pain, right? Or severity. That's what the two pillars represent. But the two pillars is also a representation of two realms or a gateway, right? Traveling through that gateway. Okay? Like when Dorothy was walking down the yellow brick road and she's just like, yo, we're not in Kansas anymore. Or when Slick Rick said, mirror, mirror on the wall, right? And he was getting inspiration from the mirror. He was having a conversation with the mirror, right? Known as scrying. That's known as scrying, right? Just like this phone in my hand right now, this is a portal into a world. You have now entered the world of Prophet Ahawud, where you're going to get enlightenment on the right-hand side, according to knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, dealing with the occult, esoteric, dealing with the Bible, dealing with the true name of the Lord, dealing with the MOTB. Now you're in my world, right? This is a portal. You literally, what is it called? What's it called? Transported. No, there's another word. I'll just use the word transported. But when you go into another realm, that's what they do with witchcraft. It's opening up a world or a veil to where you can get divine inspiration or communication from these different deities or spirits, evil spirits that are opened up to the mind through drugs, right? Hypnosis, MK Ultra, right? Because through MK Ultra they use, like Kanye West said, flashing lights, right? In what do you call that religion? Damn, man. The religion that Kanye West was a part of, him, Tom Cruise, they're not Jehovah's Witness, are they? I can't remember what friggin' denomination they're a part of, but they use electrocution, right? They use electric therapy that can open up your mind as well to control people in different ways. Same thing with abuse, right? Sexual abuse is very high to where you can split people's personalities to open them up to certain triggers or information on how to control. This is how you control people, okay? The reason why people are how they are, right? Like even me, I'll just use myself and as an example. The reason why I am who I am, right? Obviously today is because of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai through the elder apostles, right? On down, right? They've enlightened me to this truth. But before, right? The old man, the reason why I am who I am is because of my childhood or our childhood traumas, right? Your childhood traumas, they open up your mind and shape you to who you're going to be. So if you suffer from anxiety or if you suffer from anger or, or overeating, right? You might be obese, right? That can be traced back to your childhood to where something triggered that, right? There's a trigger there to where, like when a young girl is touched at a young age, there's a trigger there that makes her hypersexual, or she interprets sexuality with good, right? Even if it's unwanted. She might get touched unwantedly, which is sexual abuse or assault or whatever. But she interprets that touching now as good because she has been broken from a child. Now, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, and it reads, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." And this is one of Satan's devices. Movies, TV shows, music. This is one of his devices. This is why entertainers get paid so much, right? This is why they're exalted to such a high level in this society, right? Because this witchcraft or this magic that they use to hypnotize people or to cast spells on the world through mass media, right? Which media is just a medium, right? Let's get that word. Now, this is the word media from etymology, Etym Online, and it says newspaper, radio, TV. These are all a part of that system, right? This is how that system is promoted. This is how they keep us under hypnosis, okay? What is it called? It is known as, oh my gosh, propaganda, right? Propaganda. So it says, perhaps abstracted from mass media, a technical term in advertising, plural of medium. Okay, let's get that word, medium. It says a middle ground quality or degree, right? That which holds a middle place or position. The middle, midst, center, interval, right? Of neuter, of adjective, medius, in the middle, right? So the go between. So all your information before it can get to the people, it has to be filtered through this, right? You people, you're unable to get 100% unadulterated truth, right? That's why when you hear the brothers preach, it shocks your system because your filter or your middle, right? Everything has been filtered through newspapers, TV, radio, right? Your phones. Everything has been filtered to where you think you know what's right, right? But you've been told what's right all your life. That information that you've been given or you've been feeding on has been distorted. go back to this video because this is actually a really good video. I was looking for a reason to even get into the TV show. This is an okay video. There's a better one. Hold on.
Did you play on Disney Channel?
Yo, look at him. Look at him, bro. That's crazy. But the reason why I'm doing a lesson on this because this is not normal. I mean, this is normal. Sorry. This is normal. This is very normal in this world, right? In the world of Nickelodeon, in the world of Disney. This is the norm, right? But most people, they don't want to see it, right? She's recording him, which is good. You know, we can do lessons on him, but yo, this guy is done. He's broken, man. He's through. He's through. This is a representation of America or Babylon. Now, this is Revelation chapter 17, verse 1, and it reads, "And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters." And that many waters is talking about people, right? Because of that power that America has. And it's so funny that these Genesis guys, Beavis and Butthead, now they're saying that America is is not going to be burnt. It's not going to be the lake of fire. Oh my gosh, insanity. Okay, verse 2. Okay, it says, "With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication." Exactly. And a part of that fornication is going into what? Is going into all the occult rituals and everything that these people do, man. All of them. They've all made a deal with the devil, quote unquote. They've all made a deal with the devil. Remember, when you go into the scriptures, which we're going to get that after, what did Satan say, right, to Yahushua after he fasted 40 days, 40 nights? What did he say to him? He said, he showed him all the kingdoms of the earth. And he said, all this can I give you, but all you got to do is bow down to me. So to be on top in this world, or to receive of the glory or the accolades of this world, what do you have to do? You have to submit to Satan. You have to submit to the way of this demonic system, man. Okay? This beast system. You can't just be a part of the system and think that you're not going to get down with certain things. That's why this man looks like this. He's done. He's destroyed.
Did you play on Disney Channel? Nickelodeon. Oh, just Nickelodeon.
Just like Orlando Brown. Right? Just like Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey lost it. Just like Martin. Martin lost it. They all break. Kanye West, he's breaking. He's breaking right in front of your eyes. Whitney Houston, she broke. Okay? Michael Jackson, he broke. He broke from what? He broke from the programming. Because these people are all under heavy demonic programming, man, which is known as MK Ultra. Let's go back. It says, verse 2, "With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication," right? Going into Psalms 83, right? "And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication." Simple and plain. Let's read that again. "And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication." So what's going on with the inhabitants of the earth? They're all drunk. This world is under heavy hypnosis, right? Through mass media, mass propaganda. This world is everything you see, you hear is all propaganda. Not that the world is not real. Of course, the world is real, but what's pushed on you people on a day-to-day basis, which they tell you this, okay? When you go into who owns your phone companies, or right, you go into these different corporations like TikTok, Google, or Instagram, they already tell. Listen, Facebook, which the majority of the world was on Facebook, billions of people were on Facebook. Facebook was being used by the CIA. That was being used by the CIA. All these things have already been exposed a long time ago. right? Going back to the Patriot Act after the Twin Towers fell on September 11th, right? Going into the Twin Towers, going into the two pillars, okay? Going into exactly what we're talking about just now, okay? Because like I said, in Masonry, you have one pillar which is known as the pillar of Boaz. One is representation of mercy. One is representation of harshness, right? Those draconian measures. Okay, that's all it's talking about. And did we not leave from an old world into a new world after the Twin Towers fell? Yes, we did. We went into more of what? A surveillance state. We start getting used to more T attacks or T measures to where the government would say, "Oh, we're going to label you as a T-ist," right? Even the brothers, when we went on the highways and byways, they put us under something known as Project Megiddo, where they labeled us Hebrew Israelites, which they call us Black Hebrew Israelites, which is against the law, right? We self-identified, and now you're telling us what we are, who we are? No, that's against the law, right? Just like we can't call anybody else out of their names once they self-identify, you can't call us whatever you want once we self-identify, right? But under Project Megiddo, the government has labeled us as they put us under Project Megiddo, where we are known as a T group. Okay, so even that was a ritual, right? Right. That was actually one of the most significant rituals that's happened in modern history, because that literally changed the world. The world was changed after that. Okay. One of the other things that changed the world just happened 5 years ago, where you people got injected with something in your body. Well, you're getting ready for something else to be injected into your body, which is a part of that mass media, that mass mind control. Right? You people are under heavy hypnosis, right? Or you're drunken, right? That's what the Most High is saying. Right? Let's read it again. Verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, meaning that all these different kings of the world, they're all under that same agenda, right? Russia's over there beefing with Ukraine, but at the same time, 5 years ago when certain things happened, Russia had their thing that they pushed. It was called the Sputnik or whatever. They put something in their citizens' bodies, right? Russia has joined, what's that? They're joined with Brazil, the BRICS, right? The BRICS nations, right? They're part of that. What are the BRICS pushing, right? Brazil, Russia, India, China. What are they pushing? They're pushing that digital currency, right? They're pushing the RFID, which is the MOTB. So they're not going against the beast. They're one, right? It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth, regular people, have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So all the people of the world are under heavy hypnosis, or they're drunk, right? That's why when we preach and teach, it's offensive to most people. Most people will never be able to digest what we're given. It's like, if you've ever been on the highways and a drunk person comes up and tries to ask you a question, you tell him keep it moving, because you should understand that you cannot teach a drunk mind. When a person has a drunk mind, that's not the time you say, oh, let me go and learn. Like, I just drank a whole bottle of Hennessy, now I'm going to go take a test. That would be stupid. That would be stupid. Or I'm going to drink a whole bottle of wine and now I'm going to go to class to go and learn. That's silly. Your mind is drunk, right? You're unable to reason. You're unable to process properly. Okay? But this is a representation of the world. Verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple. What does that mean? This is the point, right? This is the point of why I brought the scripture out. And the woman was arrayed in purple. What is that? That's the prettiness of the world. Let's go back. Let's see the purple. Hold on.
Hey, did you play on Disney Channel?
Yeah, Nickelodeon. And was Nickelodeon purple? Did they use the purple in Nickelodeon? I can't remember. But that's neither here nor there. But on the left hand side is the illusion, right? This was the illusion that clean, you know, growing up childhood. A lot of these shows, they promoted chaos. They promoted kids talking back to their parents or being rude. It promoted kids doing bad things. Like growing up, you had problem child, right? You had so much different shows, but these kids were badass kids. They were rebellious, right? Like we grew up on watching Simpsons, but Bart was bad. Bart promoted, he promoted a chaos, right? When we watch these different shows like Saved by the Bell, right? Which Bell going into that god Bell, or Fresh Prince of Bel Air, same thing, right? The god Bell, it's all going into the same thing. Those were all rituals that were being played out to us. What promoted sexuality, right? They probably showed us about same sex, right? They introduce you to these different things that they want to program us with, or they introduce us to rebellion against parents, or they promote integration with all nations. That's where we get this mindset in Babylon, right? We all grew up in a Babylonian mindset due to our different programming, even though we were all programmed the same way. When you talk to someone, if you go and you speak to an individual, if you want to discern who a person is, just ask them about their childhood, right? Based upon what they watched. We grew up watching Sally Jesse Raphael. We grew up watching Jerry Springer. Jerry. That's all degenerate shit that programmed us as kids. You want to know why we have so much fucking issues? The shit that we were programmed with as kids, right? But look, on the right hand side, this is the reality. So the left hand side, that's the image, that's the illusion. That's what people are being fed on a day-to-day basis. They get fed the illusion. They go on their TV, they might see their favorite artist. They might be like, oh my gosh, I want to be like that person. But on the right hand side, their favorite artist is a witch. Their favorite artist is a pansexual. They are a PDF file. They are a blood drinker. They are Satanist. They're Luciferian. Okay? This is the reality of the world, right? And because we're pulling back the veil, or we're opening up the curtain, or what the scripture says we're going to lift up the skirt through the spirit of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, of course, right? We're lifting up the skirt of this world. We're exposing the devil. Okay? Let's go back. Verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple. And that's why this world is under such heavy hypnosis. Because when I was young, right, and you grew up in Jamaica, when you think about Canada or America, we call it foreign. When you think about foreign, you think about your expectation of this place is just, I can't wait to come here. And then you come here and it was all negative. The way people live, the way people treat each other, just the energy, right? But when you're on that plane, man, and you're looking down and you see all the bright lights, you have so much excitement, not understanding that you're coming into a place that's under heavy spells and heavy rituals, just starting with the infrastructure. Here in Toronto, soon as you come into Toronto, you're going to see what? You're going to see a big penis, which is known as the CN Tower. That's a big penis, right? That's an obelisk, right? That's going into sex magic. But that's how this world is ran. This world is ran off of a negative energy. But they don't show that to the uninitiated or the profane or the goyim, which is a representation of the majority of people. You're goyim. You're unable to see the reality because you're not enlightened. You're not privy to the secrets. Okay? And it says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold. See? So this bitch America, oh my gosh. This system is pretty. It looks beautiful. You could become a millionaire. You know all the shows. The Price is Right. Come on down. Come on down. Spin the wheel. Jeopardy, or all these. That's how America is. That's the fantasy, right? Everyone could be rich. Okay, everyone could be famous. It says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, like freedom, democracy, women's rights. You could change your gender. These are all the things that are decked in America. This is all the gold. This is all the pearls. This is all the rubies. This is the sell of America. This is the sell. This is how you get people to want to come to this place. And the majority of people that want to come to this place are people that actually are a bunch of degenerates. I'm not saying you don't have people that come here because they're fleeing persecution, because the American armies go to other places, right? Ransack it, steal all their resources. So now that country is destroyed. That country might be under civil war or whatever, and then the people flee and go for stability, and they flee with their family. But a lot of people that come to America, they come to America so they can practice the wickedness that they can't practice back in their country. If your country is against homosexuality and you know that you can go to America and be free to do it in the butt, then you might do that. Okay? A lot of women, they come here so they can freely commit genocide on unborn children, which is known as child sacrifice. Right? You women, you sacrifice your children every single day, every single hour, every minute, every second in this society. This society right now, as I'm doing this lesson, there's a baby right now that's getting aborted right now. Right now. Okay? But that's how this world is ran, because and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abomination and filthiness of her fornication. See? So that's the reality. There's a way to get those precious things, and we're going to get that scripture. Hold on, we'll come back to this. Now this is Matthew chapter 4, verse 9, and it reads, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Right? That's what Satan said unto the Lord himself. Right? So what did Satan show the Lord? Let's go back. Verse 8, again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain. That high mountain represents rulership, right? Government. And shew him all the kingdoms of the world. Okay? Because you have to understand that everything has already been prophesied. America has been prophesied. Just like Egypt, Rome, Greece, the Persians, every empire that was made to be in power has been prophesied, and they all have come into fruition exactly the way Yahweh said it would. Right? So all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. Okay? And saith unto him, all these things will I give thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Right? So the people who are in rulership of this world, right, of this kingdom, who have been given power, they have been given power, right, by the Heavenly Father, but it's through left-handed. It's not through righteousness. The kingdom of righteousness is going to be built up through Yahweh Shai, right, through the 144,000, right? That's where that righteous kingdom, right, let the will be done on earth as it is in heaven, that order, right? That righteous order, right? A nation of kings and priests, right? That's going to be done through Yahweh Shai and the 144,000, and along with the 1/3, okay, of the nation of Israel. That's going to be that rulership, right? That 144,000, okay? That's how this world is going to be governed in righteousness. But everything else, the Egyptians, were they righteous? No, they were wicked, right? The Babylonians, were the Babylonians righteous? No, they were wicked. What about the Persians, the Medio Persians? No, they're into Mithricism, right? Which is a representation of the modern church system as well. They're sun worshipers. That's why you people go to church on Sundays, right? Those people, the small hatters or the others, they're Saturnians, right? That's why they wear all black, looking like Abraham Lincoln, right? They worship Saturn, okay? Or they're into Hermeticism or the Kabbalah, okay? When you read some of their books, like the what's that disgusting book that they have, man? Oh my gosh, they call it the Holy of the Holies. Fuck is that book? Damn, I can't remember the name of that demonic book that tells them that they can sleep with little kids. Shit. If it comes back to me, I'll say it. All right, I'll say it if it comes back to me.
Hey, did you play on Disney Channel? Nickelodeon. Oh, Nickelodeon. What show is it again? Oh yeah, you were that kid on it, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, he was that kid that was presenting the world like the world was good, right? They're always smiling, they're always happy, like everything is good. And then when they do documentaries on shows like that, they let you know what these people had to go through, right? Just like they did the documentary on Diddy, right? They had a show called The Making of the Band, and people are finding out that these people went through trauma and they went through this and they went through that, because that's the reality, right? The propaganda, right? Or the fake world that they show us is on our TV, and we just sit there watching the TV thinking that's real. None of that is real. Okay? None of that is real. And even in this is the shadow world, right? This is the upside down world. But most people are not ready to see that, because it takes a type of spirit to see it, right? Most people don't want to see the truth. The truth scares people, okay? To understand that certain rituals and, right, you're going to have to understand why kids go missing. You're going to have to say to yourself, oh shit, children, they have to go missing, okay? But yeah, I'm going to end the lesson off there. And with that, I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakudash. Double honors unto the elders and elder apostles of GMS that rule well and that teach well, and to the brothers on the four corners of the earth doing this work in truth and in sincerity. Only the elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3. Shalom to you and to you alone.